So today we're going to talk about how writing is rewriting. That's a normal phrase that we all hear about over and over again. But what does that really mean? Well, when we're thinking about a story, of course, we're going to have to be doing multiple drafts of that script in order to get to that awesome final draft that is going to get us noticed, or that's going to be sold, or that's going to get the attention of an agent, a manager, or place in a contest, anything like that. So, how do we go about the process of rewriting? That's very, very crucial in order to get the best script possible to elevate what you already have. The first thing I always say is that even before you do your first draft, you should spend months and months and months just crafting your story. To me, that's also part of the rewriting process, because I usually start with an idea or a character or a log line and then spend several months working on the backstory of the characters, working on an outline, synopsis. For me, in my case, I do very, very detailed treatments, scene to scene, with everything that happens, every sequence, every act, till the very end of the script. I know not all writers do that, but regardless of what you do to plot your story before that first draft, all of that work that you put into it is actually going to save you a lot of time when the rewriting process comes, because you've already plotted everything out. You know where your story is going. So the actual writing of the script is going to go a lot faster. So anyway, whatever way you decide to go about it, after you've done all of that prep and then you write your first draft, that's when the real work begins, a lot of people say, because that's great. You already completed your first draft. Congratulations, that's a huge step. But you need to keep working on it to really get to a point where it's worth sharing your script. So one of the first things you should do is share it either with writing friends at first, or, and this is the most recommended, a paid coverage service. Here at Story Data, we offer those services. We do very in-depth analysis of your script, development notes, page notes, what works, what doesn't work, suggestions on how to improve. Why do this? Of course, it's like a doctor, a doctor can't operate on themselves. A writer can't always see and spot all of the things that are wrong in their scripts. Also, obviously, the art of filmmaking is a collaborative medium. We need more opinions. We need to know what works and what doesn't work for others. We need outside eyes to see what's working in the story, how it can be improved, what areas aren't clear. Sometimes just even give us some ideas. A lot of times when you pay for notes, it's not that they're giving you exact suggestions on, okay, do this, change this, do it this way, do it that way. But those notes underneath the notes, meaning sometimes one point doesn't work for someone and they can give you a suggestion that doesn't really work for you as a writer. But the fact that they pointed that out kind of sparks something on your head, in your mind, and just leads you to actually reworking those areas to make sure the script is at its best. So after you've gotten notes, hopefully maybe for more than one service, you need extensive notes to really push you through. Then you work on your next draft and the next and the next, and make sure you keep polishing the draft. Of course, always remember to take a step back and not just go back into a rewrite right away. You always want to take a little time to really let all the notes sink in, to distance yourself from the story a little bit, just so you can get the best story out there after having had some time away from the script. So if you manage to do that, then your draft will only be better in that sense. And after every draft, you should always try and get notes again. I always work like that with my clients as a consultant and give them notes throughout their drafts just to see their evolution, how the different areas that I pointed out have been elevated and things like that. And then once you finally have your draft, that's always really hard to tell when it's finally a final draft. Writers keep rewriting and rewriting, but you can ask professionals, get their advice, and have a draft that you feel confident about showing. Obviously, if it gets bought or optioned, changes will be made because that's always the way it goes. But make sure that when you're presenting your draft, it's never a first draft. It's a draft that you feel confident about, that you've worked on, that you've gotten notes on, and that it's really going to be that great piece that is going to best showcase your writing to really help your career and hopefully get your script on the screen.